be screwed, feel my own adrenaline. Yeah, I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to Cypherfics. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the second part of, What If Danny Phantom Meets Batman? Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Louise 4200 on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Really, Dash? Quan asked in disbelief. It's Fenton we're talking about. Nothing else makes sense, Quan. Dash replied. But we're ending this right now. Yeah. Both Dale and Quan cheered. Another player showed up at their room. Guys, Coach Tetzlaff wants us for practice. We're ending this after practice. Dash corrected himself and Dale and Quan redid their cheering. Meanwhile, at Jerry's office, Jerry was addressing the girls. Girls, this is Roland Daggett, former CEO of the now bankrupt Daggett Industries. Daggett waged a lot in the victory of Gotham High's football team against Casper High's. Daggett's company went bankrupt when he tried to use stray animals to spread a plague so he could make a lot of money selling a cure, and that's why WHP doesn't want him to be powerful again. I want you to look for evidence of anything illegal he does to win the bet and then arrest him or at least neutralize whatever dirty scheme he has. Yes, Jerry. The girls replied. Unfortunately, Alex can't go because Danny Fenton is one of the Casper High students visiting Gotham City for the occasion and might recognize her. Jerry explained. Impossible. Alex exclaimed. He's not interested in sports other than bowling. His chosen girl attends Gotham High. Jerry said, and Samantha, Clover and Alex understood. Sam, Clover, since Alex can't go with you, Brittany will. Back in Gotham City, Barbara was giving Danny a private tour while Tucker and Sam were following them. Sam, don't you think you're blowing things out of proportion? The techno geek asked. You should have thought about that before talking Danny into entering that dating service. Sam argued. No, Sam. Tucker replied. You should have thought about that before refusing to admit. He then noticed her glare. Never mind. She can be scarier than Batman. Unbeknownst to them, Barbara noticed the two amateur spies. I won't say anything because they're Danny's friends, but they'd better stop before Batman decides to intervene. She and Danny entered a movie theater. Tucker, I hope you're ready to pay for our tickets. Sam said. No way. He protested. You're the one who dragged me here. Not to mention that you're. He saw Sam glaring at him. I'll pay my ticket and you'll pay yours. Whatever. The goth conceded and they entered, unaware that they weren't the only teenagers spying on Danny and Barbara. After the movie, Barbara took Danny to another place for a snack. On their way, he noticed an abandoned building. Daggett Industries? Danny asked. That's the company that went bankrupt after the animal spread plague scandal, right? Right, Danny. Barbara confirmed. So, is it true that Daggett waged on the outcome of the football game? Danny asked. Yes, Danny. Barbara answered. So, how would Batman and his Bat family feel if Danny Phantom showed up and foiled Daggett's scheme? Danny asked with a suggestive smile that unknowingly made Sam and Tucker wonder if Barbara knew Danny's secret. Well, I'd have to be Batgirl to know for sure, but I'd guess he'd become even more worried it'd attract his enemies to Gotham City. Barbara replied with an inside joke tone that confused Danny's friends. Really? Danny asked with skepticism. Yes. Barbara answered. Why do you think Superman stays out of Gotham? I never thought about that before. I just assumed he focused on Metropolis whenever there were no worldwide emergencies. Danny explained. After all, Superman could have stopped several crimes if he came to Gotham once in a while. Then again, the idea of Skulker coming after me does seem to be a good reason Phantom shouldn't appear in Gotham very often. Really? Barbara asked. I thought a ghost going after Phantom in Bellwood would have made you understand. It took a few seconds but Danny figured out what Barbara was talking about. Actually, I was dating a girl from Bellwood back then thanks to the dating service and because of that I witnessed the battle. He explained. He knew there was no need to lie to Barbara but, since they were in her turf and she was acting like she's not Batgirl in spite of him knowing the truth, he decided to play along and pretend he's not Danny Phantom. Technus, as Phantom called the other ghost, was actually hoping to steal tech somewhere Phantom wouldn't be around to stop him and was surprised at Phantom's presence. Well, Supergirl once came to Gotham to catch a criminal from Metropolis so I'm giving Phantom the benefit of the doubt. Barbara commented. Danny briefly wondered if he should tell about his meeting with Supergirl but decided against it not only because he didn't want to speak of his other dates more than needed but also because he didn't know if they knew each other's identities. Look. Barbara pointed at a restaurant. That's where I'm taking you. Yak in a Box? Danny asked. I never heard of this place before. They opened a restaurant here recently. She explained. Meanwhile, Tucker and Sam were still stalking them until a cop showed up. Stalkers. Thinking quickly, Sam grabbed Tucker for a fake-out session similar to one she and Danny once used to trick Valerie. Sorry, I thought you were stalking the other couple. The cop said and left. You owe me, Sam. Tucker said. Consider it compensation for setting Danny into that dating service. Sam replied. Then we're even and I'm leaving. Tucker said and ran away before she could say anything else. Unbeknownst to them, 3 girls were inside Daggett's abandoned building and one of them was watching the visitors from Amity Park. That's definitely the too fine Tucker Mandy whined about. Clover commented. If so, I no longer blame her. Clover. Samantha replied with a scolding tone. We're not here for this. We're here to find evidence of Roland Daggett's criminal activities. Inside this abandoned building? Clover scoffed. I don't think we'll see any signs of Daggett here. Wrong, Clover. Brittany replied as she looked outside the office they're currently in. He's coming. Surprised, the spies simply left through a window and waited on the roof while the listening devices they left behind worked. Are you sure it's a good idea to be here, boss? Germs asked Daggett. What'll you say if somebody catches you? Since I still own this place, I can say I'm evaluating it to decide if I accept Warren Power's offer or not, Germs. Daggett answered with a tone that suggested Germs was being stupid for asking that question. Now, did you do as I asked? Yes, sir. Germs answered. I've added steroids to Dash Baxter's juice but I don't understand. I thought you wanted his team to lose. Exactly. Daggett was proud of himself for his brilliance. I can't poison my adversaries or use steroids to improve the local team's players but once Dash Baxter returns to his hotel room and drinks his tainted juice, the Ravens will be disqualified and I win the bet. I hope so because just thinking about that boy's laundry gives me nausea. Germs commented. It's so dirty. Upon hearing and recording it, the girls reported it to Jerry. Good work, girls. He said. Now get that juice before a civilian touches it. Meanwhile, Danny and Barbara were eating at Yak in a Box. This is great. Danny commented. I wonder who came up with this idea. A couple of immigrants who came from Ustinkistan 5 decades ago, Danny. Barbara answered. I thought they came from Zoravia. Danny said. The Eastern European kingdom copied by the town of Fountain Park, Illinois? Barbara asked. Before Danny had a chance to answer, Dash, Quan and Dale showed up. Stop right there, Fenton. Dash ordered. I know your secret. What? Danny fearfully asked. Did he figure out I'm Danny Phantom? I've seen how you reacted when Paulina claimed Phantom as hers in front of your girl, Fentered. Dash declared. Oh. He did find out. You tricked her into thinking you're Danny Phantom. It's a lie. I'm not. Danny quickly replied until it clicked in what Dash said. What? You heard me, Fenton. Dash replied. I don't know how you tricked her, but it's obvious she must think you're Danny Phantom. You probably tricked the other 27 girls as well. Especially the crime-fighting cheerleader who doesn't need superpowers or a secret identity to be a hero. He doesn't need to be a superhero to be my boyfriend. Barbara defended her boyfriend. Unlike you, he's a nice guy who doesn't need to belittle others to feel good about himself. Sam Manson, who was hiding in a corner to avoid being seen by Danny and Barbara, was amazed at Barbara's attitude and as shocked as Danny about how close Dash came to learning Danny's secret. Sam also believed Dash got it right about Barbara figuring out Danny's secret even if the bully thought the redhead was falling for a lie. You're lucky I don't hit girls. Dash said with a frown. No, you're the lucky one since it means I cannot hit you in self-defense. Barbara teasingly replied. Fine, you asked for it. Dash tried to sock Barbara but she used a judo move on him and he's the one who got hurt. Stop right there, punk. Detective Bullock ordered Dash. Another cop then approached Barbara. Did this delinquent hurt you, Ms. Gordon? Hey. Dash protested while wincing. She's the delinquent and I am the victim. Tell them, Fenton. Dash Baxter is a school bully my girlfriend had to hit in self-defense, detective. Danny stated. Take that back, Fenton, or you'll suffer. Dale threatened. Witness coercion is a crime, punk. Detective Bullock replied. You're under arrest. Don't you understand, sir? Dash pleaded. Fenton and Gordon are the troublemakers. Don't you dare call the commissioner's daughter a troublemaker. Bullock ordered, showing the bullies how much of a trouble they're in. He then turned his attention to Quan. You'd better call your teacher before I find a reason to arrest you as well. Yes, sir. Quan fearfully replied and left. What about that girl? Bullock asked while pointing at Sam. She's just worried about her friend. Barbara reassured Bullock. Which explains why she came to a place like this in spite of being a vegan. Ultra-recyclo-vegetarian. Sam protested while drinking her soda. Bullock then approached the cashier. Yak meat is better than I expected. If you start serving donuts, I might become a regular. Probably the reason this place will never sell donuts. Barbara whispered to Danny, who chuckled at her joke. Alright, punks. Bullock addressed the arrestees. You have the right to remain silent. If you waive it, everything you say might, and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to have an attorney during your questioning. If you can't afford a lawyer, the court will waste taxpayers' money on one. Do you understand these rights? Why yes. Both bullies answered. Do you want to talk to me? Bullock asked. No. Dash quickly answered and Dale, unsure of what to do, played along and also refused. Good. Bullock grunted. Because minors need a parent or guardian around during questioning and I've got no time for bull. He should watch his language. Danny whispered to Barbara. Who said he didn't? She teasingly asked in reply. Remind me not to get on his bad side. Danny asked his girlfriend. Just, don't stand between him and his donuts. She replied and he laughed. By the way, do you know someplace other than the hotel where I can spend the night? Danny asked. I'm afraid of staying anywhere near Quan and the other non-arrested A-listers. Well, you're a key witness on a case of attempted assault on the police commissioner's daughter. Barbara stated with a suggestive smile. You could stay at our home or somewhere else under witness protection. Good. He exclaimed. Even if her dad puts me in prison, it's still better than what the A-listers would do. After everyone else left, Sam returned to the hotel and told Tucker about the incident. Wow! Tucker was amazed. She not only put Dash in his place but also got him and Dale arrested. Forget about Batman. I want her autograph now. Tucker, we have something more urgent to worry about now. Sam scolded her friend. Don't you remember how she and Danny spoke of Phantom and Batgirl? Yeah, I also noticed something odd on how they mentioned the two heroes. Tucker answered. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Sam asked. I think so, Sam. Tucker answered and both teens started a phrase with, Barbara Gordon is. But while Tucker ended his with, Batgirl, Sam ended hers with, blackmailing Danny. What? Both Tucker and Sam asked each other. They tried to answer at the same time but neither could understand the other. I'll go first. Sam declared. Tucker, Barbara Gordon must have learned some police technique and used it to learn Danny's secret. She's blackmailing our friend with it. Are you crazy? Tucker asked. From what I figured out, she's Batgirl and she and Danny know each other's secrets. That's even crazier than Bruce Wayne being Batman, Tucker. Sam replied. Well, that would explain a few things about Robin's uniform. Tucker commented while remembering the First Boy Wonder's first appearance. Care to elabo, don't matter. Sam replied. We have to figure out whatever proof she has on Danny and destroy it. Well, Bruce Wayne's first ward came from a family that used to wear a similar outfit for their. Shut up, Tucker. Sam demanded. We must break into her house to find her blackmail material or at least find something to use as counter-blackmail material. No way. Tucker frowned and shook his head, no. You already got us to fake date. If Velma gets word about me getting arrested for breaking into another girl's place, I'll give you $20. She offered. No. He replied. $50. She raised her offer. No. He hesitated a little but still refused. Sam, you need help and not the kind you're asking from me. I'm not crazy. She shouted. If you're so sure Barbara isn't Batgirl, how about asking for her help against Barbara? Tucker suggested even if just to see how Sam would react. Good idea but I hope she doesn't get Batman involved. Sam replied. Barbara doesn't deserve to be dropped to death even if she's blackmailing our friend. Or, we could let Jazz in and ask for her advice. Tucker said, realizing she was really liking the idea of getting a superheroine involved with her obsession with Danny. We can't. Sam replied. Because Danny requested police protection against the bullies, they extended it to her on the grounds that she's his sister. Lucky girl. Tucker muttered. Why couldn't Danny remember us? Sam, it's late and I want to sleep. Tucker complained. Can't we leave this for tomorrow? Alright, Tucker. She begrudgingly said and went to her room. She then phoned Jazz's cell phone. Hello. A man's voice answered. Who's there? Sam asked with a mix of confusion and anger. I thought I'd called Jasmine Fenton's cell phone. I'm intercepting all calls to Jasmine Fenton or her brother for as long as they're under police protection. The man explained. Who's calling? Sam Manson. She answered. May I please talk to her now, officer? Gordon. The man answered. Commissioner Gordon. On a second thought, I'll call her later. Sam said in fear Gordon would listen to the conversation. Bye. Worried about it, the commissioner decided to consult Jazz on the matter. Fortunately, he agreed to shelter the Fenton siblings at his home. Barbara was adjusting her room so both she and Jazz could sleep there when he entered. Dad! Barbara exclaimed in disapproval. Did you forget I'm no longer the only girl here? Sorry, princess. He replied. Miss Fenton, may I speak to you? What's wrong, sir? Jazz asked. Ms. Fenton, a Samantha Manson called you but gave up after I identified myself. He stated. Would you know why? Oh, Sam probably wanted to ask me to find some dirt on your daughter. Jazz answered. Danny is the only one at Casper High who doesn't know Sam Manson has a crush on him. Barbara explained upon seeing her father's confused expression. Okay. He replied. Good night. He then went downstairs to talk to Danny. Are you comfortable, Mr. Fenton? Yes, Commissioner. Danny replied. And you may call me Danny. Now, Danny, I know I probably shouldn't be talking about this until we stop offering you and your sister protection, but what are your intentions towards my daughter? The Commissioner asked. Perhaps I should have let the bullies get me. Danny thought. Sir, I want a serious relationship and hopefully, if we're still dating by the time we finish college, marriage. He answered and hoped it was the right answer. Good answer. Commissioner Gordon sternly replied. Now, you'd better not harm my daughter or you'll be begging for jail by the time she'd done retaliating. Dad, don't scare my boyfriend. She scolded him. Sorry, princess. He replied. Afterwards, the Fenton teens and the Gordons went to sleep. Meanwhile, Mr. Lancer was at the precinct trying to get Dash and Dale released. Please, Casper High needs them to win the game. That's no excuse for them to do what they did, Lancer. Detective Bullock replied. And besides, the commish would be very upset if I let them out. Detective Bullock, I understand the commissioner wants to protect his daughter but she's blowing it out of proportion. Lancer pleaded. The Fenton boy doesn't think like that. Bullock argued. He's a troublemaker and the arrestees are football stars. Lancer argued. Especially Mr. Baxter. A typical teacher who favors athletes. Bullock commented in disgust. Newsflash, Lancer. Those punks probably wouldn't be in this situation if you taught them right from wrong. I waged a whole month's pay on this game. Lancer pleaded. Not in this state, I hope, since it's illegal here. Bullock replied. I'll share my winnings with you if you release them. Lancer was desperate. That's it, you're under arrest for attempting to bribe a police detective. Bullock had enough of Lancer's idiocy and read the latter's rights. And the education board will know about your bet. The next day, the Gotham Gators were easily defeating the Casper Ravens. And Chip Shrek scores another touchdown. A commentator announced. The score is now Gators, 41, Ravens, 14. An extra point is scored. Correction, the Gators now have 42 points instead of 41. With the way this Shrek guy scores, the Ravens would lose even if Dash and Dale were playing. Danny commented to Barbara. Well, since we already know the Gators will win anyway, would you please buy more popcorn? Barbara asked. With the non-arrested players at the field, he felt it safe. Sure. He replied. Just guard my place and my soda, please. Sure, Danny. Barbara replied. That's our chance, Tucker. Sam exclaimed upon seeing Danny leave his seat. We'll talk to him and see what Barbara wants with him. She just wants a nice boyfriend, Sam. Tucker replied. And perhaps a superhero to fight alongside Batgirl. He added in a whisper. Aren't you going with me? Sam asked. And miss this? Tucker asked in reply and smiled. No way. Those jerks are losing so badly they'll no longer be able to get away with picking on us. At least call me if she also leaves before Danny returns. Sam ordered and left. Looking around, she found Danny at the popcorn stand. Danny? Sam. Danny, how are you doing? She asked, happy to see her friend and secret crush again. Did Gordon threaten you? He's just the typical overprotective dad, Sam. Danny tried to reassure his friend. He's like your dad except that his daughter doesn't want just friendship with me. Sam frowned and muttered, clueless, but it seemed Danny didn't hear her. Actually, I meant Barbara. What's she blackmailing you for? What? She knows your secret and is using it to blackmail you, right? Sam asked. That's why a beautiful girl like her wants you, right? Danny frowned but had something more urgent than calling Sam out. Do you really think she has to know my secret to like me? You sound like Dash, and how do you even suspect she knows? First of all, don't you compare me to jerks like Dash. She angrily demanded and then hesitated before continuing. Tucker and I overheard you and Barbara and then figured out she knows. Danny was even angrier now. You and Tucker spied on us? He asked. It was for your own good. Sam argued. Does Tucker also think she's blackmailing me? Danny asked. No. Sam frowned. For some reason, he thinks she's Batgirl. Could you believe it? No comments, Sam. Danny said upon recovering from the shock. Now, if you excuse me, my girlfriend is waiting for this popcorn and I'll be grateful if you and your fellow stalker stop playing with those theories. I'm trying to protect you. She protested, but Danny ignored her and kept walking. Where's Jazz? Danny asked his girlfriend upon returning. Nature called her. Barbara answered and then took her popcorn. Thanks. Barbara. I'm afraid my friends figured out you know my secret. Danny whispered to her. Well, it's your secret, so I don't mind them knowing I know. She commented. Don't take offense, but Sam thinks you're blackmailing me. Danny hesitantly explained. Wow, I know she loves you, but she's desperate for an excuse to hate me. Barbara commented back. Barbara, Sam and I are just friends. Danny said and was interrupted by another Chip Shrek touchdown. So, it's 49-14 now. Danny commented after another extra point was scored. 49-17 actually. Barbara corrected her boyfriend. Your school scored 3 points while you were away. There's another issue, the secret you trusted me with. Tucker seems to have figured it out. Danny fearfully said. How? Barbara asked with a tone that made Danny fear she suspected he told them. I don't know how to tell this, but they spied on our date. Danny explained. Yeah, I figured out this much back then, but I didn't know either of them would be that smart. She replied. Even if I should, since Jack Fenton figured out Batman's identity. What? Danny replied in confusion. Danny, I knew they were following us. Barbara said. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to ruin things between you and them. Okay. Danny sadly replied. Jazz then returned. What did I miss? After the game, Danny, Jazz and Barbara were approached by Commissioner James Gordon and Jack and Maddie Fenton. Mom? Dad? Danny and Jazz asked. Commissioner Gordon called, kids. Maddie explained. After what he told us, we decided to take you home right now. It's their right as your parents. The commissioner explained to Danny and Jazz and then redirected his attention to the Fenton parents. Mr. and Mrs. Fenton, I'll still need your son to come back to testify. Just let us know the date, sir. Jack told the commissioner. An official notification shall be sent by mail, Mr. Fenton. Commissioner Gordon stated. By the way, I'd be glad if your son testified during the bail hearing. Anything to keep bullies out of the way, Commissioner Gordon. After it was settled, the Fentons left Gotham City and Danny told his family about Tucker and Sam stalking. After this, it's no wonder Barbara thinks Sam is in love with me. He commented. Honestly, Danny. I'm tired of this. Jazz was exasperated. I thought I shouldn't tell anything until she confessed it herself, but, have you never thought about the possibility of Sam really having a crush on you? There were some brief moments, but then I realized how stupid I was being. Danny answered. Danny, even Dad noticed it. Jazz said. The same Dad who believes Batman to be Bruce Wayne. Danny retorted. Wayne's got the required money and background, and the Robins came around the time he adopted. Not now, Jack. Maddie asked. Jazz, what did you mean by Dad believing Sam's supposed crush on me? Danny asked his sister. Don't you remember he gave you a ring with her name engraved on it? Jazz asked back. I remember it as well as the fact I was dating Valerie back then. Danny answered. Meanwhile, Sam and Tucker were inside their respective rooms when each one received an unexpected visitor. With Sam. You? Sam asked with a frown. I've heard you suspect I'm blackmailing the friend you have a not-so-secret crush on. Barbara replied with a malicious smile. With Tucker. You. Tucker exclaimed in joy. Will I finally get your autograph? I didn't show up in broad daylight just to give somebody an autograph. Batman replied with a note that scared Tucker. I came here to tell you to stop trying to uncover Batgirl's secret identity. We know Danny Phantoms after all, and they have an agreement to keep each other's a secret. Really? Tucker asked in surprise. With Sam. Yeah, you found out he's. Sam hesitated. She's suddenly not so sure Barbara knew Danny Fenton was Danny Phantom. Look, if that's what Dash Baxter said, I'm telling you that, if Danny Fenton is Danny Phantom, I am Batgirl. Barbara reassured Sam. By the way, Batman is at this very moment telling Tucker to stop trying to figure out her secret identity. There's at least one good thing I can't deny about this girl. Sam thought. She's got quite a sense of humor. With Tucker. I don't get it. Tucker exclaimed. Why didn't he tell Sam and me? Batgirl's secret identity isn't his secret to tell. Batman stated. But I got it right, right? Tucker hopefully asked. It's not my secret to tell either. Batman replied with a "dare you to contradict me" face. Afterwards, the two teens boarded a bus back to Amity Park. During the journey, they received a message from Danny asking them to meet him. Upon arriving at Fenton Works, they entered his room, where he was waiting with a frown. So, what does the stalking couple have to say? Danny asked. It was her fault. Tucker desperately pleaded while pointing at Sam. You know how scary she can be. You know, I called Barbara after returning home. Danny stated. That soon? Sam frowned. Any news from the bullies? Tucker asked. It seems Dash has an uncle named Charlie who lives in Gotham City whose lawyers are trying to negotiate a plea bargain. Danny explained. But that's not what I called her for. I asked for her permission to tell you both her secret and she agreed. Congratulations, Tucker. You got it right. I knew it. Tucker exclaimed in triumph and pointed at Sam. Pay up. Nice try, Foley, but we didn't bet on it. She replied. It didn't harm to try. Tucker said. But it will. Sam threatened but then remembered what Danny had just confirmed. Barbara is Batgirl? Why didn't you tell us before? It wasn't my secret to tell and she only agreed to trust you because I reassured her you both would keep the secret. He replied. No problem, Danny. Tucker said. Ditto. Sam added with a frown. What's wrong? Danny asked. Sam, aren't you glad Barbara's not blackmailing me? No. Sam was exasperated. I wanted a reason to hate her so I could have a chance with you again. What? Danny, I'm tired of your cluelessness. Sam exclaimed. I love you. I've been loving you for a while. How come you didn't notice that? I never suspected a thing. Danny answered. I always thought a tough girl like you would have told me. Too bad you didn't before I entered you plus me equals love or I might have reciprocated. I suppose you're upset with me for spying on you. Sam sadly suggested. Actually, I suppose I can't since the only difference between this and me spying on Elliot was that he turned out to be really bad. Danny replied. Sam, I'm steady with Barbara but we can still be friends if that's good enough for you. Alright, friend. Sam said. If you don't mind, I must go home now. Bye. So, why exactly did a police commissioner's daughter become a vigilante? Tucker asked. What do you know about Batgirl's first appearance? Danny asked. As a big fan of Batman, the techno-geek knew the answer. I know it took place back when Barbara's dad was framed, oh. With Dash and Dale behind bars in another town, Danny and his friends were expecting a good day at school. No Dash. No Dale. No Lancer. Nothing can ruin this day. Danny said in joy. A jock then approached him. Thanks for making us lose, Fenton. Even the clueless Halfa couldn't miss the sarcasm. Serves me right for jinxing it. Danny muttered. Is there any problem here? Mr. Felucca asked with a frown. No, sir. Knowing Mr. Felucca wouldn't favor him like Mr. Lancer used to, the jock left in fear. Don't mind him, Danny. Mikey said. I'm glad you got 2 bullies sent to prison. Even if we lost the game. Sam asked out of curiosity. Are you kidding? Nathan asked. That's the best part. Whenever Casper High wins, that means the jocks remain free of scorn. For as long as they lose, they don't have that power. Told you. Tucker whispered to Sam. After that incident, Team Phantom went to a classroom for their history class. To their dismay, their teacher issued a pop quiz. Is that a way to punish us for losing the game? Sam asked. I don't know but I'm glad Dash isn't here to make me pay for the F he'd get. Danny commented. One test later, Danny was happily walking to the next class. Why were you so happy, Danny? Sam asked. You're not expecting to ace a pop quiz. Are you? Well, I've been studying more lately. Danny commented. Is it because your parents are demanding better grades in exchange for money for your dates with Barbara? Sam asked with disdain. She might be more accepting of Barbara but there's still some resentment left. That and we never know when another teacher will make me study extra time like. When Mr. Lancer did it to me. Danny answered. Point. Tucker replied. Speaking of Lancer, I wonder who's replacing him. I hope it's the same teacher who subbed for him when he was suspended for the incident at the female teacher's bathroom. Sam commented. We'll soon find out. Danny replied as they entered what used to be Lancer's classroom. To their pleasure, it really was the same teacher. After that lesson, Danny and his friends were picking books from their lockers when they overheard the remaining A-listers. Come on, Quan. Paulina pleaded. We must punish Fenton for getting Dash and Dale arrested. Paulina, it wasn't Fenton's fault Dash tried to hit a police commissioner's daughter and Dale threatened a witness. Quan argued. How did Valerie get you to go after him back when she was one of us? Paulina asked in disbelief. She can be just as scary as the goth. Quan explained. Going that way, you'll probably suggest Fenton rejoins us. Paulina sarcastically suggested. Why not? Quan was seriously considering the matter. I won't need to leave this time and Fenton's quite popular now that it's been revealed that 28 out of the 30 girls who met him through the dating service wanted a second date with him. Are you crazy? Paulina was enraged at the idea. I remember it was you dating Fenton that got him into the A-list the first time. Quan replied. I was possessed by a ghost. Paulina exclaimed. Or suspected Fenton was Phantom like the Gordon girl thinks. Quan teased Paulina. Don't. Even. Joke. About. That. She replied. Danny? You're not thinking about rejoining, right? Tucker asked in worry. No, unless you and Sam are invited to join with me. Danny replied. Do you think I have a chance? Tucker eagerly asked. Honestly, I think it's just as likely as you becoming the mayor. Danny answered. Or a .com billionaire. Sam added. I think mayor's easier. Tucker commented. I was born a few years too late to have a shot at the other option. You could invent a cell phone good enough to make PDAs obsolete before someone else does it. Danny suggested. No cell phone will ever be that good. Tucker frowned like what Danny said was a blasphemy. I think the way Wayne Tech, LexCorp and DevTech are doing, I think it's a matter of time until one of them does that. Danny commented. It wouldn't be the first time big companies waste money on ideas that don't work. Tucker argued. I just hope the screenslavers go bankrupt from it. Danny and Sam rolled their eyes. They're already tired of Tucker's belief that Winston Deaver was evil like his sister. They even gave up trying to talk him out of that mentality. They eventually went to lunch. I haven't felt this calm during school's lunch break ever since. Danny tried to recall the occasion. The last time the football team went to another school to play and we didn't go with them. Don't celebrate so soon, Danny. Sam replied. The Wicked Witch of the West is still at large. Exactly. Said Witch said as she showed up. You may think you're free from Dash, but his Uncle Charlie's lawyers will get him out. He's a Gotham bigwig. Wait a minute, Paulina. Tucker asked in realization. Are you talking about Charles Baxter, the president of Wacko Toy Corporation? Do you know him? Danny and Sam asked. The guy became the joke of the business world when he tried to market toys created by the Riddler. Tucker explained, always the enthusiast about all things Batman. I loved it when Batman turned one of Riddler's own toys against him. Yes, I am talking about him. Paulina answered. And he can bribe people who outrank Commissioner Gordon. Soon, he'll be free to put you losers in your place. Meanwhile, inside a courthouse in Gotham City, Dash's fate was being decided. I accept the plea bargain. Judge Maria Vargas stated. Dash Baxter pleads guilty of attempted assault and will serve 250 hours of community service. Until that sentence is fulfilled, the defendant won't leave Gotham City without permission from this court. Is this the best your lawyers could do, Uncle? Dash asked in dismay. Be glad you won't have to wait until you're 21 to be free, Dash. Charles Baxter sternly replied. Meanwhile, back in Amity Park, Danny and his friends enjoyed the remainder of their lunch break and went to the next class. The rest of their school day was also uneventful and, after classes were over, all of them went to Fenton Works. Upon entering, they found two unexpected visitors whose wings allowed Team Phantom to recognize both of them. Son, these are. Jack tried to tell Danny but Tucker interrupted them. Hawkman and Hawkgirl. The techno-geek said and then drew his autograph book. May I have your autographs? Tucker. Sam scolded her friend. Sure. Hawkman agreed to give him an autograph. Hawkgirl, on the other hand, chose to ignore Tucker and talk to Danny. Like I told your parents, Batman sent us to oversee their attempt to send the gentleman ghost to the ghost zone. Oh, right. Danny remembered. You and Hawkman were the first Leaguers to face him. Son, since you're the one Batgirl entrusted with the ghost, you'll do the honors. Jack said as he handed over the Fenton thermos with the gentleman ghost inside. Is Craddock really there? Hawkman asked in amazement. Are you sure this thermos isn't made of nth metal? Absolutely. Maddie answered. That much I could tell from the fact I'm not hearing any screams of pain as expected whenever any ghosts touch nth metal. Hawkgirl commented. How can we even tell there's a ghost inside this thing? That's what the lights on the Fenton thermos are for, Hawkgirl. Jack proudly answered. Hawkgirl, is it true you can hit ghosts with your mace even when they're intangible? Tucker eagerly asked so she'd talk to him. Yes. Hitting bad guys was a conversation topic Hawkgirl easily accepted. Why, if there were any ghosts here, intangible or not, I could hit them so hard. It could end their afterlives. Maddie hopefully asked. No, but I'd make them wish I did. Hawkgirl finished and Danny was scared about how both of them were bonding over that. Don't we have a ghost to flush? Oh, right. Both Jack and Maddie said. Flush. Both Thanagarians asked but regretted asking as soon as they saw the answer. As Danny tried to flush Craddock through the ghost portal, it released several sparks until Craddock was eventually shot back into our world. Like we feared. Hawkman commented. He cannot go to the ghost zone unless my spirit goes. You. Craddock angrily pointed at Hawkman. You're responsible for my plight. Hawkgirl interrupted him with her mace. Hawkman, it's time to do what we planned. She said. Affirmative. He replied and flew through the ghost portal. Suddenly, the gentleman ghost started glowing. It's finally happening. Craddock exclaimed in joy. I'm finally going to the other side. He then vanished. What happened? Jazz asked in confusion. According to legend, Jazzy Pants, Craddock cannot go to afterlife until his killer's spirit goes and, since Nighthawk is bound to reincarnate without going to afterlife, it was seemingly impossible until a reincarnation decided to check if going with a body counted. Jack explained. Correct. Hawkman replied as he came back from the ghost zone. Craddock is now able to live an afterlife and the Legion of Doom will have to look for a new ghost to join their ranks. Unbeknownst to them, somebody was spying on them through a hidden camera. That can be arranged, Hawkman. Now. That's been dealt with, where can Maddie and I get some of those nth metal weapons? Jack eagerly asked. If the rest of your anti-ghost equipment is as good as this Fenton thermos, you don't need them. Hawkgirl commented and Jack felt flattered. If not for the fact Craddock was the only ghost to ever antagonize the Justice League, I'd be trying to buy some of your weapons. Thanks, Hawkgirl. Jack replied. What about talking about those weapons to Tony Stark? Jazz suggested. Some of his buildings have been attacked by a ghost lately. Actually, that so-called ghost is just an industrial spy that uses technology to mimic a ghost's most known powers instead of an actual ghost. Hawkman explained. Danny, Tucker and Sam were worried. That reminded them too much of how more of a threat the guys in white became after reverse engineering one of Skulker's robotic bodies. After the Thanagarian heroes left, Danny tried to excuse himself for an online chat with Barbara. You know the rules, Danny. Maddie said. Finish your homework first and then you may talk to Barbara. And you'd better not rush it. Jack added. One homework later, Danny was talking to Barbara. How was your day? He asked. Good. She answered. Some students were thanking me for getting two of Casper High's best players out of the way. Same thing here. Danny replied. Those bullies picked on so many students their victims thanked me for it and minimizing the others' chances of getting away with it. Is that about just the bullies or also about Mr. Lancer? Barbara asked. Dad told me Lancer was more concerned about the game results and winning a bet. Sounds like him indeed. Danny commented and chuckled. Always favoring the popular students. Yeah, I've heard of cases of schools where teachers automatically give jocks passing grades so they can play and that's one thing but what Lancer used to do. Barbara commented. True, no matter how much I hated it whenever Dash got FS and took the resulting frustrations on me, I'd hate it even more if the teachers gave him higher grades than he deserved. Danny replied. So, I've heard 2 Justice League members visited your parents to see how to deal with the gentleman ghost. Barbara commented. How was it? Cool. Danny answered. The gentleman ghost is finally able to live an afterlife. So, my town or yours for the next date? Barbara asked with a flirtatious smile. It was Friday and all students of Casper High were reunited to hear an announcement from Principal Ishiyama. Students, after the Gotham City Police Department reported Mr. Lancer for waging on the outcome of the match our football team played in Gotham City, the Board of Education revoked his teaching license and, because of that, he's no longer a teacher. His substitute, Mr. Stone, is now a regular teacher permanently holding Mr. Lancer's former teaching position, and Mr. Feluca is now Casper High's new vice principal. There were some polite applauses. That's all, students. You're dismissed. Yeah. Tucker exclaimed. No more Dash. No more Quan. And now, no more Lancer. Can this get any better? His cell phone then rang. Hello, Velma. Hockey game this weekend? Sure. When? It's a date. Goodbye. Hockey? Danny and Sam asked in surprise. Yeah, Velma happens to be a huge fan of it. Tucker commented. Go figure. Tucker, you'll not pretend to like hockey just to impress her, will you? Sam asked with a frown. A bunch of violent jocks hurting one another instead of me? Tucker asked in joy. What's not to like about it? Point taken, Tucker. Danny replied and chuckled at the idea. So, what about you, Sam? Any plans for this weekend? Nope. Sam frowned again. I'm the only one dateless within our team. After that awkward moment, they entered a classroom. A few days later, Danny was at a bus station in Gotham. They agreed to meet at Vitello's, and he was about to leave the station when he noticed a Metropolis scene on TV. Well, it seems even Superman and Supergirl aren't enough to save us this time. Angela Chen commented, but then noticed something on the screen. Wait. This just in. Gotham heroes Batman and Robin showed up to help. Really? Batman and Robin? Couldn't the Justice League send powerful members like Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Black Lightning, or his ex-be Black Vulcan? Danny frowned at Angela's attitude. Sure, there were times he tended to wonder how powerless heroes like Batman managed to fight alongside powerhouses like Superman or Wonder Woman, but, after everything Batman did, even before saving Danny from the Joker was added to the list, she should have more respect for the Dark Knight's skills. After going to a hidden spot, Danny went ghost and started flying towards Vitello's, only to be distracted by a sight of Batgirl fighting some thugs who robbed a jewelry store. Being too stupid to remember Barbara's reputation as one of the most skilled vigilantes in Gotham, one of the thugs threatened to hurt Batgirl. In turn, she threatened to send them to jail in casts. She's doing such a good work. Danny only intervened when a bullet was getting dangerously close. Danny quickly reacted by creating a green shield to protect her. Batgirl smirked as she figured out he's behind the shield. The two heroes exchanged haze as Danny revealed himself. Get lost, you freak, the head thug shouted. He and his men tried to shoot Danny and Batgirl, but Danny used his intangibility on himself and Batgirl to make the bullets harmlessly cross them. Didn't your mothers tell you that it's wrong to steal or be rude to a lady? Danny asked. Fortunately, he managed to maintain his intangibility long enough for the robbers to waste their ammo. Man, that stuff makes me feel funny, Batgirl commented and readied herself to beat up the robbers. 5 minutes later, the thugs were beaten up and the police round them up. Our heroes then went to a high rooftop where Barbara took off her bat suit and Danny changed back to human form. Thanks for the help, even though I could have handled those clowns, Barbara said. I know, but I don't like being on the sidelines when some creeps try to hurt you, even if I know you can kick their butts. Call me sappy if you want, but I want to help you in any way I can. Barbara kissed him. Well, I guess I can't get too mad since you were just being a helpful boyfriend. So, are we still up for Vitello's? You know it. At Vitello's, Danny was entertaining Barbara with another joke. Knock knock. Who's there? She asked her boyfriend. The doorbell repairman. Danny answered and she laughed. Barbara? They heard somebody ask and Barbara recognized the voice. Chip. Nice to see you here. Chip replied. Dad bought a new store for his chain and brought me here to celebrate. Chain. Danny asked in confusion. Danny, Chip's dad is Max Schreck, owner of Schreck's store chain. Barbara explained. Owner and founder, Miss Gordon. Max corrected her and then noticed Danny. We're sorry for interfering with your plans, Mr. Fenton. Danny Fenton. Danny introduced himself. I'm Max Schreck and this is my son Chip. Nice to meet you, but our table became vacant. Max said. Goodbye. Bye. Danny replied and mentally wondered if Max was named after the deceased German actor of the same name. He and Barbara finished their lunch and were about to order a dessert when they heard a beep from his cell phone. Tucker sent him a message and an attached picture. It seems Tucker, his girlfriend and her friends caught a so-called ghost that was haunting a hockey stadium. Danny commented as he showed Barbara the picture. What? Barbara was shocked. Tucker's dating a Mystery Incorporated member. You've heard of them? Now it was Danny's turn to be surprised. Some of the mysteries they've solved were deemed newsworthy, Danny. Barbara explained. They've even crossed paths with some leaguers on occasion. Even Batman. Mustn't have been a particularly newsworthy occasion, otherwise Tucker would have remembered and told me. Danny commented. Batman is his favorite leaguer. Wouldn't we order dessert? Barbara asked. Each teen ordered a slice of pie. So, what do we do now? Danny asked after asking for the check. I know a place where we can play arcade games. She suggested. As they entered a shopping center and were on their way to the game place when they noticed a TV showing news about Wayne Enterprises. That's Lucius Fox. Barbara said. Who? Danny asked. He manages the day-to-day operations of Wayne Enterprises, Danny. Barbara explained. Mr. Fox, do you really think it's wise to buy and reopen Joker's Wild Casino? Summer Gleason asked. We're not reopening Joker's Wild Casino, Ms. Gleason. Lucius answered. We're going for the Camelot theme Cameron Kaiser would use had he not decided to provoke the Joker into destroying it. Did someone really name a casino after the Joker? Danny was amazed. As Mr. Fox stated, Cameron Kaiser's original idea was to build a Camelot-themed casino. Barbara explained. Unfortunately, the project ended up costing more than he expected or could afford, so he decided to trick the Joker into destroying it. He even bribed an Arkham guard into setting the inmate's TV on the channel that was showing the casino's opening so the Joker would see it, and the same guard later made it easier for the lunatic to escape. With all the lives that were endangered because of that, I'm actually surprised somebody, no matter who, would reopen the place even if with another name. That's horrible. Danny commented in disgust. And it's a boy from a haunted town saying it. And Dad says the plan wouldn't have worked even if nobody had proven Kaiser guilty of any crimes. Barbara replied. Why not? Danny asked. He was really curious at this point. Because of the sudden change to the casino's name and theme, the insurance company could have held this as a misrepresentation of the insured property and invalidated any claims Kaiser had over the matter. Barbara explained. People with overly complicated plans always forget about important details, it seems. Danny commented and Barbara nodded. They then resumed their original plans. They first entered a racing game. Barbara won the first race. Best 2 out of 3. Danny asked and she accepted. Danny won the second race but lost the third one. Good game. Danny commented. How about a game of air hockey? Barbara won 7-6. How about a little snack? She suggested. Yak in the Box. Danny asked in reply. We've done that before. I'm thinking about another place. She answered. Bueno Nacho? Danny asked. No way. Barbara answered with a disgusted expression. Is their food that terrible? Danny asked. I'm asking because I've never tasted it before. Lucky boy. She muttered. Actually, I'm in the mood for a pizza. Now you're talking. He happily replied. As they were going to their newest destination, a mugger suddenly showed up and tried to steal Barbara's purse, but she quickly kicked him and every bystander applauded her. Danny was happy until one of those bystanders commented, "It's a good thing she can fight. I don't think that boyfriend of hers would have been of any help." They then went to a pizzeria to enjoy their meal. "What's wrong, Danny?" Barbara asked. "Any problem with your pizza?" "No, it's what they said about me back then," Danny commented. "I thought you had no problem with a girl being a good fighter," Barbara said. "My problem is me not being good without superpowers, Barbara," Danny explained. "Why not?" she asked in reply. "Your mother fights karate. Didn't she ever teach you?" "She stopped when I was punished for fighting a bully," Danny explained. "My parents didn't listen to me." "I could teach you, Danny," she suggested. "We could go home so I could give you some basic lessons." "What about your dad?" Danny asked in worry. "He's at work," she explained. "On a weekend? Crime never rests," Barbara commented. "Especially in Gotham." "Okay," Danny replied. After the pizza, they went to her home. On the way, they were interrupted by some thugs. "You're the commissioner's daughter," one of them exclaimed. "Your dad got my brother in jail and you'll pay for it." "No, she won't," a new voice declared. "Robin?" Barbara and the thugs asked upon seeing the voice's owner. "Weren't you smaller?" Danny asked. "That's the original Boy Wonder, Danny," Barbara explained. "We're not used to seeing him here ever since he moved to Jump City and assembled the Teen Titans. I came back to help while Batman and New Robin are in Metropolis and I've brought a friend," the original Robin said while motioning to Starfire. "Hello, date-blind Danny." Starfire happily greeted her chosen boy. "What a coincidence. Is that the date-blind you chose over me?" "Yes," Danny awkwardly answered. "Really?" another thug asked. "What do those beauties see on him?" "Good question," Robin thought while mentally frowning. "First Starfire and now Barbara. What does he have that I don't? Will you surrender now?" he asked the thugs. Given how Starfire was there, only stupid people wouldn't surrender, meaning they didn't. Starfire caught two of them and flew upwards, making them understand. Robin and Barbara knocked down the other two. "Danny, you and your date-blind are safe now," Starfire said while understanding why Danny would like Barbara. "Feel free to resume your dating rituals." "Okay," Barbara replied, not used to Starfire's way to speak English. She and Danny went to her home as initially planned. When Robin and Starfire took the thugs to a precinct, they were approached by Commissioner Gordon. "Is my daughter okay?" "Yes, Commissioner," Robin answered. "What do we do now, Commish?" Bullock asked. "I'll call Barbara to check with her and her boyfriend," Commissioner Gordon said and picked up his cell phone. "Dad? Barbara, where are you?" he asked. "I'm home," she answered. "And what about the Fenton boy?" he asked. "Well, he's here as well," she answered with hesitation. "You know how I feel about you bringing boys home when I'm not there, but we have another problem," the commissioner said. "I need you and or Fenton, preferentially the both of you, to testify." "We're on our way, Dad," Barbara reassured her father. "No," he exclaimed. "You stay there until I pick you up. And besides, we must clear things with his parents before collecting official testimony since he's a minor." After that call ended, Commissioner Gordon and two officers went to his home, only to find Barbara standing over a fallen Danny. "What did he do to make you take him down?" he asked with a frown. "We're just sparring, sir," Danny explained with an exhausted tone. True, Dad. She added. Well, I supposed he finally faced enough of Gotham City to understand he needs the training to survive. The commissioner commented. Tucker and Velma took their seats at the hockey stadium. Tucker would feel better if her friends weren't with them. He didn't even want to question how they got their dog in. Where did they get our tickets? Tucker asked. Daphne's. Family owns the team we're rooting for. Velma explained, shocking Tucker. Wait a minute. Tucker asked. Is Daphne one of the Coolsville Blakes? Yep. Daphne answered. You should have seen their faces when they learned they own the team. Tucker was confused. Your family owned a hockey team without knowing it. That's nothing. Daphne simply replied. We actually forgot we own an ancient castle in Ireland until somebody tried to buy it from us. Before Tucker could think over what Daphne's just said, they heard Fred cheering on in spite of the game not beginning yet. Come on, break his leg. Twist his neck. Fred, the game hasn't begun yet and the field is that way. Daphne pointed out. I know. Fred explained. I'm watching those guys fighting at the snack bar. Nicer than Dash, perhaps, but not much brighter. Tucker thought. The players showed up but, before either of them had a chance to hit the puck, smoke came out and some sort of creature wearing a hockey outfit showed up. You'll pay for rejecting me. The creature said. Practically everyone ran away. Shaggy and Scooby tried to run away as well and would have done so if not for the other meddling kids. You'll stay with us, you pair of chickens. Daphne said. No way. Shaggy said while Scooby said, Row Ray. Would you stay for a Scooby snack? Velma asked. No. Shaggy said. 2 snacks for each of you. Velma offered more. That's, like, different. Shaggy replied with a smile while Scooby nodded. One bribe later, the gang and Tucker went to talk to the coach. First of all, I'm only bothering to listen to you kids because Ms. Blake's family owns the team. He said. Well, for starters, who could this so-called ghost be? Velma asked. That's obvious. The coach said like he's talking to an idiot. That's the ghost of Albert O'Sullivan. Who? Fred asked. Albert O'Sullivan was a former star of this team decades ago until being banned for throwing a few matches for money. Velma explained. You know your history. The coach commented with a smile. Good. The last anyone heard of him was claiming he'd get his revenge someday. Velma stated. But I never heard about his death. The general public forgot about him. The coach explained. Which means whoever is pretending to be his ghost must be really into hockey. Fred deduced. Assuming it's not, like, a real GGG ghost. Shaggy commented. Well, it's Amity Park. Tucker said. If at least I thought about bringing a Fenton finder with me. A what? The gang asked. A device invented by Jack and Maddie Fenton to locate ghosts. Tucker explained. Velma then drew the PDA. At the moment, I'd like to know what became of O'Sullivan. I'm way ahead of you, Velma. Tucker replied with his own PDA on hand. Ooh. Both techno geeks exclaimed. Well, let's split up, gang. Fred said. Daphne, you and Velma keep checking this area. Shaggy, you and Scooby check the other team's locker room. Tucker, you check the corridors with me. We'll meet at the field. As Tucker and Fred were walking around, the latter addressed the former. So, what's your deal? What? Tucker asked in confusion. We've checked your profile on the web, Mr. Tufine Tucker. Fred stated with a frown. So many girls complained about you using a fake profile, we find it hard to believe all of them were liars. That was a new for Tucker. A jock, or someone with a jock build, with a legitimate grievance against him. Look, I might have exaggerated a little with my original profile, but I've learned my lesson. He explained. We'll see about that. Fred said. Now let's keep looking for clues. Look! Tucker exclaimed. Somebody's coming that way. Hurry! Fred said and went after the newcomer, only to find a girl wearing some sort of red armor. Who are you? Fred and the girl asked each other. Recognizing the girl, Tucker decided to intervene. Red Huntress, this is Fred Jones, of Mystery Incorporated. He said. Fred, this is Valerie Gray, the Red Huntress. Red Huntress? Valerie asked in confusion. That's a fan nickname. Tucker explained. If you want a particular name for you to known as, announce it like Danny Phantom announced his during the Ghost King incident. And how do you know my name? She asked with a frown. Because your current suit doesn't hide your face like your old one used to. Tucker uneasily answered. True, you don't even wear a domino mask like other superheroes do, and I still wonder how those do the job. Fred commented. Fine, but what are you doing here? She asked. My friends and I are trying to catch the hockey ghost. Fred explained. You should leave the real ghosts to real ghost hunters, but what about you, Foley? Valerie asked. I'm dating Velma. Tucker explained. It figures. Valerie commented. She's as much of a nerd as he is. They then heard a scream from where Fred had sent Shaggy and Scooby to investigate. The GGG ghost. Shaggy screamed and he and Scooby ran by. Scoob, isn't that, like, the Red Huntress? I've got to admit it's a catchy nom de guerre. She thought. That's me. She then saw the ghost coming. Stop, ghost. She commanded and readied a weapon on him. The ghost kept approaching. Okay, creep. You asked for it. She gave a shot that the ghost dodged. Seeing the damage it caused, the ghost became terrified. Wait. I'm not a ghost. He exclaimed and unmasked himself. See? Rather anticlimactic. Fred commented. Would you rather meet a real ghost? Valerie asked. Yes. Fred answered while Tucker and Shaggy said, no, and Scooby said, row. Did that dog just talk? Tucker mentally wondered. Well, it's not like it's the weirdest thing I ever met. With the villain surrendering, the cops and the rest of the gang reunited. But how did you know the team's former janitor was the ghost? The coach asked. We didn't, coach. Velma answered. He simply surrendered when the Red Huntress showed up. But why was he doing it? Shaggy asked. Revenge, because the coach got me fired. The unmasked ghost said. I caught you trying to rob the team's valuables to pay gambling debts. The coach explained. And I would have gotten away with my revenge if not for that meddling Red Huntress. The villain complained. It's rather anticlimactic when the bad guys don't call us meddling kids. Daphne sadly commented. I didn't even have a chance to set up a trap. Fred added. What are they? Tucker thought. Protagonists of a strictly formulaic cartoon show. He then saw something that made him even more surprised. Is that cop reading rights from a card? That's how it's done, Tucker. Velma explained. Any deviations from the official text might invalidate the part about being used against the bad guy in a court of law. Okay. Tucker replied and took a picture of the villain next to Velma. I'm sending it to Danny. Honestly, it takes a very stupid villain to impersonate a ghost in Amity Park. A cop told the bad guy. Mayor Masters is even trying to pass a law against ghost impersonations even during Halloween. He's just jealous because most kids would rather dress like Danny Phantom. Tucker snickered. Upon noticing the confused looks, he added, Mayor Masters friends with Danny's parents. Danny Fenton's parents, I mean. The others figured out it must be some sort of inside joke and left it at that. So, what about the game? Shaggy asked. It has been rescheduled. The coach explained. The match will be played 3 days later. It's a date. Velma said and Tucker agreed. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Scooby said. Later that night, Danny and Tucker shared tales of their respective dates. So, Valerie scared the fake ghost into confessing? Danny laughed. Yes. Tucker answered while still laughing. By the way, Barbara says Velma and her friends have met some leaguers. Danny commented. No way. Tucker exclaimed and checked his PDA. Oh, it's here. I didn't memorize the names when I first learned of them helping Batman to prevent the Joker from stealing Bruce Wayne's fortune. I wonder if they can get me his autograph. Danny rolled his eyes at that. Won't he ever give up? They've also helped Wonder Woman to catch a thief who dressed like a minotaur to steal an artifact. Tucker said, even more amazed at his girlfriend and their friends. Did Wonder Woman give him the same trouble Valerie gave today's villain? Danny asked, not sure if he believed Tucker or not. As an Amazon, she likely fought enough minotaurs to make it hard for her to believe it wasn't another real one. If you find it hard to believe, look at the amount of times the Flash captured villains Velma and her friends tried to unmask. Tucker commented and showed the story on the PDA. Wow. It's like behind his mask there's a friend of theirs wanting them to have more time to spend with him. Danny commented. What about you? Tucker asked. I've received news on the PDA that Starfire and the original Robin showed up to help while Batman and the current Robin were in Metropolis. Did you meet them? I sure did. Danny proudly answered. Was it awkward? Tucker teasingly asked. Did Starfire even know Barbara is Batgirl? If she knows, she hides it really well. Danny answered. By the way, she and the original Robin met us as Danny Fenton and Barbara Gordon. Did Robin become jealous that both girls in his life prefer you? Tucker asked and snickered. Probably. Danny answered while wondering if his luck will make him face the wrath of a jealous caped crusader. Meanwhile, at Arkham, Edward Nygma aka the Riddler was talking to the inmate from the cell next to his. Crane, I'm talking from genius to genius. Join the Legion of Doom. With Batman teaming up with other superheroes, we'll need all the help we can get. The only help I care about is to get out of here. The Scarecrow commented. I never thought I'd say this at a time Arkham isn't run by Lyle Bolton, but escaping is harder than it seems. Perhaps I could be of assistance. A new voice phased inside the Scarecrow's cell. Am I really going insane? The Scarecrow couldn't believe what he saw. Are you a vampire? The new voice briefly frowned at this vampire comment. Ghost, actually, Mr. Crane. But you and your fellow intern Mr. Nygma may call me Plasmius. Now, tell me more about the Legion of Doom. Danny Phantom was fighting Skulker. Give up, whelp. The hunter demanded. I'll finally have your pelt. I'd be richer than the Fruit Loop if I had a dime for every time you said that. Danny replied. Skulker then tried to shoot Danny but the ghost hero kept dodging. The hunter then noticed some random bystanders and, knowing Danny's heroic nature, shot 2 missiles at them. Danny tried to go after them but saw a red and blue blur do that instead. Supergirl? Both ghosts asked. Not exactly. A male voice said. Superman. Both exclaimed. Perfect. Skulker said. Your cousin escaped me but you won't be as lucky. Unlikely. Superman replied. I happen to know Danny Phantom destroyed the kryptonite you used against Supergirl. Skulker then shot Superman a kryptonite beam. My sources had more. Skulker said only to be suddenly frozen. Did you forget about me? Danny asked with a smirk as Skulker's frozen body fell and shattered. Is he? Superman tried to ask, seeming to forget the true meaning of Skulker being a ghost. The real Skulker is just a tiny blob piloting a mini-Zord. Danny explained as he removed said blob from the Zord's head and placed it in a Fenton thermos. Now that's out of the way, wow. I can't believe it's you. We have no time for this, Phantom. Batman said as he revealed himself and his Batjet. Does the name Plasmius mean anything to you? Yes. Danny frowned. He's my arch-enemy. But why do you ask? Because we have reason to believe a ghost who goes by that name broke the Riddler and the Scarecrow out of Arkham Asylum, Phantom. Batman answered. If the inmate who overheard them can be relied upon, your arch-enemy is interested on the Legion of Doom. Superman added. Well, before I tell either of you of what I know, I must warn you he knows my secret identity, so please be careful with what you let him know you know about him. Danny asked and the two experienced superheroes nodded. Vlad Plasmius, or the Wisconsin Ghost as ghost hunters Jack and Maddie Fenton know him, is actually Vlad Masters. Under the assumption neither Batman nor Kara told Superman his secret, Danny decided not to speak of Jack and Maddie as his parents. Masters secretly wants to kill Jack Fenton and marry his wife. Batman didn't show it, but he's incensed at the idea of a parent being murdered since he knew what's like losing both that way. If he's teaming up with the Legion of Doom, I'll help you both in any way I can. Danny volunteered. Don't worry, Phantom. Superman said. Batman warned me about your parents not knowing your secret, so, whenever the need to protect it makes you unavailable to help, we'll understand. I'll just notify my friends. Danny said as he touched his Fenton phone. Guys, cover up for me. Danny. Tucker screamed in joy. You're meeting Batman and Superman? Please get me their autographs. Tucker, that's not the time for this. Both Jazz and Sam said. Superman turned his attention to Batman, whose glare made it clear the caped crusader wouldn't agree. The Man of Steel then quickly vanished and returned 2 seconds later. Awesome! Tucker shouted in joy. Your friends understand they mustn't tell anybody not into your secret how they got Superman's autograph, right? Batman asked. Don't worry, sir. Tucker reassured his idol. But how did he know where we are? Superhearing. Superman answered. Don't worry about your autograph, Danny. I left it with your sister. Dan. What? Yes, Danny. Superman confessed. Batman told me. I'm sorry if he didn't check it with you first, but Plasmius and the Legion of Doom made it an emergency. It's okay. Danny hesitated before replying. It'd be nice to be consulted first, but it's okay. It's Superman after all. Ready to be teleported? Batman asked. Yes. Danny eagerly answered and then realized what Batman said. Teleported? Before he had the chance to say anything else, the three heroes were teleported from Amity Park to the Justice League's watchtower. Awesome! He exclaimed upon seeing several other superheroes. Danny? Supergirl asked upon recognizing him. As Supergirl? Danny was shocked but realized he shouldn't. Danny? Supergirl was feeling just as awkward as Danny. What's wrong? Superman asked. Didn't she ever mention meeting a boy named Danny at the dating service, Clark? Batman asked Superman. She said she chose one but he chose another girl. Are you saying? Superman asked in fear. I've hacked into the dating services database, no easy feat after they improved their defenses after a hacker named Megan Griffin broke into them. Batman said. Your cousin is one of the 28 girls who chose him, and it seems that, as I deduced, each one knows the other's secret. Oh, no. Superman replied. So, I presume you chose another girl. Supergirl commented. Somebody I know. Barbara Gordon. Danny answered. Batgirl. The Girl of Steel stopped upon recalling that, for all she knew, she was talking to someone who didn't know Batgirl's secret identity. I mean, the girl who used to carry the baseball bats for the team back when we attended Smallville High. That sounds even harder to believe than the blind day. Danny replied. And I already know her identity. Did you learn it before or after choosing her? Supergirl asked. Batman interrupted them. Danny Phantom, I've brought you here to discuss Vlad Plasmius. The caped crusader said and took Danny away from Supergirl. Kara, what's wrong? Superman asked his cousin. It's not fair, Cal. She shed a tear. What does she have that I don't? He just loves somebody else, Kara. Superman tried to comfort his cousin. It can't be helped. Meanwhile, the Riddler and the Scarecrow were introducing Vlad Plasmius to the Legion of Doom. So the rumors were right. The Fruit Loop commented. Lex Luthor is the Legion's leader. And why are you interested in joining our Legion, Mr. Plasmius? Luthor asked. Straight into business. I like that. Plasmius commented. Even before teaming up with your enemies, Daniel Phantom has gotten in my way too many times. Perhaps we could team up. Before we make any deals, you could explain this. Luthor said and pressed a button. A video of Skulker stealing a chunk of kryptonite from a lab and phasing himself outside. This is a copy of a security tape from a LexCorp facility, Mr. Plasmius. While Vlad provided, or tried to provide, explanations, Danny finished telling Batman about him. I do recall your father giving an interview stating the reward was just a trick to distract his family while the so-called Wisconsin ghost was trying to steal their ghost portal after his own blew up. Batman stated. Shouldn't Mr. Fenton find it suspicious since, according to my research, Vlad Masters is the only non-Fenton who knows how to make those portals? My parents don't believe humans can have ghost powers, Batman. Danny said. Anyway, thank you for your cooperation, Danny. Batman said. Now we'll take you home. By the way, Supergirl and Batgirl aren't just colleagues. They're friends. Oh, boy. Meanwhile, in Gotham City, Batgirl was fighting some bank robbers. Unbeknownst to her, one of them was pointing a gun at a hostage. Drop the batarang or I'll shoot. The robber demanded. With what? The hostage asked. With. The robber started answering before realizing he was no longer holding anything. What? Looking for this? Supergirl teasingly asked while dangling the gun from a point neither bad guy could reach. Before the bad guys had a chance to recover from the shock, Batgirl took advantage of this to knock them down. Thanks, Supergirl. Batgirl said and then offered to shake hands with the Girl of Steel only to notice she's not so keen on doing it. What's wrong? Nothing to be discussed in public, Batgirl. Supergirl stated. After the cops took the robbers away, the two superheroines were at Barbara's home, where Batgirl changed back into a civilian outfit. Now, what's this all about? Barbara asked Supergirl. A mutual acquaintance of ours. Supergirl answered with a frown. Is Livewire in Gotham again? Barbara asked out of worry. Danny Phantom. Supergirl answered, shocking Barbara. Meanwhile, Danny Fenton brought home two unexpected guests home. Batman? And Superman? Jack asked. Awesome! He exclaimed. Superman, may I have your autograph? One for me, one for Maddie, and one for each kid. I already gave autographs to the kids. Superman replied. Danny wasn't home when I first showed up so I gave his to his sister for safekeeping. I put it in your bedroom, Danny. Jazz explained. So, what can we do for you? Maddie asked and then frowned. Is it about Phantom? You've been seen with it recently. Actually, Mrs. Fenton, our main ghostly concern is the one known as Vlad Plasmius or the Wisconsin Ghost. Batman explained. We have reason to believe he might be joining the Legion of Doom. Yes, That one is enough of a threat. I once made a truce with Phantom to protect my family and the city. Jack commented. I'll gladly help you. And he really would. The Fentons have heard of a group of Leaguer's rogues before, but having it confirmed by an actual Leaguer made it impossible to disbelieve. Hopefully the world will be free from menaces like Phantom and Plasmius. Danny, how about you flush the ghost in that Fenton thermos? Superman suggested, wanting the ghost boy to be away from people unknowingly speaking ill of him. Danny caught a ghost? His parents asked with proud smiles. I had a super help. Danny replied. Technically not a lie since Skulker was distracted by being focused on Superman. I'll go with him. Superman said. I'd like to see a ghost being sent back to the ghost zone Hawkman and Hawkgirl told me about. Cool. Jack exclaimed. Meanwhile, I'll tell Batman about the deflector belt. It prevents ghosts from overshadowing or even touching people wearing them and shocks any ghosts trying. However, since you're accepting the possibility of non-evil ghosts existing, I must warn you that any ghosts that touch you or that you touch will be harmed even if you don't want it to happen. We should make belts for Superman and Supergirl. Maddie stated. Can you imagine if ghosts overshadow them and gain control of their superpowers? I'd probably make belts for the whole League and the Avengers and the Teen Titans if we had enough ectoranium. Jack said. Meanwhile, in Gotham, Vlad Plasmius phased his way into the Gordon residence and was surprised to see his target talking to Supergirl. I would overshadow Daniel's girlfriend, but it seems I found a better prize. Vlad thought. Barbara was even more confused when Supergirl started to grin like a maniac. Yes. Supergirl exclaimed. With these powers, I can get rid of the oaf. She then stared at Barbara. But first. Barbara noticed the red glow on Supergirl's eyes and remembered what Danny said about signs of being overshadowed by ghosts. You're a ghost overshadowing Supergirl. I see Daniel taught you well, Miss Gordon. Supergirl said. Call me Plasmius. Later on, back in Amity Park, Jack was trying to talk Batman into buying Fenton stuff. So, may I interest Wayne Enterprises into buying anything? Jack asked. Jack, if you keep going with this, it'll be just a matter of time before you suspect Lex Luthor of being Superman's secret identity. Maddie scolded her husband. Don't be ridiculous, Maddie. Jack replied. If Superman had a secret identity, he'd need to wear a mask with the rest of his uniform to protect it. Superman would make a comment, but it worked for him that people didn't expect him to have a secret identity. Danny's cell phone then rang. Tucker. Danny, are you watching the news? The techno geek asked. No, Tucker. Danny answered. Then do it now. Tucker ordered with urgency. Danny did so and saw his girlfriend being held hostage at a clock tower. The horror just increased when he recognized the one holding her hostage. Supergirl. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 3. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Louise 4200 on fanfiction.net. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.